What's up guys, Julian here today. I'm going to be showing you how to make melodic electro, sort of like Jim's Shinra, that style. As usual, you can get the full project files, samples, MIDI, presets, literally everything from this video that you just heard in the intro is available at the top of the description on my website. Go grab it, it's just $5. For $5, you get literally one of the best electro templates on the market. Definitely the best one for this style I've ever seen by far. So go grab this. Don't sleep. The link is at the top of the description. It's really helps support me, but also it's really going to help support you making your best music. You know, I put a lot of time into studying these sounds and how to make them, and now you can take all of my work and benefit from it. So, link is at the top of the description. Go grab that. Don't miss out. And let's dive in. So, we're at 133 BPM. First sound here is the lead. So, we're in the key of G minor, and this is using 4 voices from the G minor scale. The root note, the 9th, the minor 3rd, and the 5th. Which, if we look at like a G minor chord, that root note, minor 3rd, and 5th, those would all just be in that chord normally. And then we're just adding this voice, right? But it's just like this kind of catchy little lead. It sits really nicely. It's meant to be like this one thing is kind of staying with the same notes while the bass line is changing the chords. Right? And you're getting the interaction of the same notes up top with the lead with the bass line changing notes. Now, for the sound, this is made with analog. It's just one square wave with a bunch of pulse width. And you can see I've got the LFO on that as well. So you're getting a lot of movement. We have a low pass filter which has a bunch of automation. You can see just constantly moving it, so it's really, really dynamic. But then also, we have this envelope on here, a bit of key tracking, meaning the lower the note you play, the lower the filter is going to be, the higher the note you play, the higher the filter will be, and an LFO. So this filter has a lot of movement on it, and that's a big key to this, is how dynamic it is. We have the amp envelope like that, a bit of vibrato, the glide, and then we just have some echo and a little bit of drum bus. Then we have this ARP and these keys, which kind of all go together with this pad too. So you can hear, these are all kind of like these background melodic things that are happening, right? Like you have the steady stuff like the pad and the bass line and the lead. But then we have these coming in and out in the background. And kind of fills in some of that space in between. So for the ARP, again, we're in the key of G minor. We're using the root note, the minor 3rd, another root note, another root note, and another minor 3rd. So it's literally just those 2 notes across different octaves. But it's just a really catchy little pattern. For the actual sound on this one, it's made with analog. So we got 2 saw waves, same octave, low pass filter with an envelope, nice and plucky. An amp envelope set like that with that release automation at the end. Let's kind of make it ring out. A bit of vibrato and some unison. I have a little bit of auto pan, some chorus, a little bit of echo, some saturation to make it a bit fatter, and then just an EQ cutting out the lows and boosting the highs a little bit. For the keys, it's this very like Italo sounding thing, right? This style has a lot of Italo disco influence, and so basically it's just like this G minor chord. We can see we're using like our root note, our 4th, another root note, a 5th, and then another root note. And then here we just change some of these voices, go down -2, those 3. Right? It's a very simple little chord. But it just gives you something nice that's not too much, that's just going to fill out the background there. And for the sound on this one, it's made using this bright tines, which you can actually find under sounds here, like piano and keys. And yeah, I tweaked it a little bit. It's going through some chorus, a bit of echo, a bit of reverb, a bunch of drum bus to give it some nice texture and fullness, and then a high pass filter. And then the last one of these sounds is this little pad. So this just plays a G minor chord, like a very basic G minor triad across 2 different octaves. And yeah, this is made with operator. It's a sine wave, another sine wave, and then an LFO on the volume of oscillator beat. So that's giving you that like kind of movement with the sound. We have a bit of chorus, a bit of reverb, and then a high pass filter, and that is it for that one. The next sound we have here is our main pad. Now, this is the kind of pad where, it's like I said, we're in the key of G minor, so we're getting just a bit creative really with notes inside of that scale. These aren't like particular chords where I can tell you like, oh yeah, this is like a G minor sus11 or something like that. It's just like taking these different notes, and it's really the different melodies, right? Like for example, we have, right, that's happening, but then while that's happening, you're also getting, right? So it's like these different melodies that are happening between the chords. Interacting. And then we have 2 saw waves going into a low pass filter. And then you can see we have this routing on. So then that's going into this formant filter down here. You can see on that we have a bit of key tracking as well as an LFO. We also have an LFO and an envelope on the low pass. So you're kind of getting these 2 morphing into one filter. And it gives you a really nice sound. We have a bit of vibrato and some unison, a bit of chorus, reverb, and then just a high pass filter. And then we have the bass line. So this is playing the chord progression, and the progression that we have here is G minor, D minor, D sharp major, C minor, right? So it's root note, 5th, 6th, 4th. Very classic like house and dance music kind of thing. And this is essentially going to carry the chord progression, right? Like these, we have this other pad playing chords, but that's just chords to kind of add texture on top of this. This is just really that main progression in the track. And for the sound on this one, it's made using 3 layers. So you can see we have this operator, which is like this FM bass with 3 sine waves you can see in different octaves, and these plucky envelopes, a little bit of a low pass filter with an envelope, and a shaper. We have a sub, which is just a square wave with a low pass filter to make it nice and fat but still deep. And then we have this sound, which is just one square wave inside a wavetable with a bunch of unison, because you're going to get unison and operator, and then just a low pass filter with an envelope. And then they all 3 come together to make this really, really fat sound. Also, that wavetable has chorus and a high pass on it. And then the only thing on the group here is just a little bit of delay, where you can see I use the filter to make sure it's not going to get in the way of the actual low end. But yeah, that is it for the bass line. And then the next thing we have here is going to be the drums. So you can see the drums have a lot of character to them, but it starts right up top with this nice kick and snare. Right, this is one of my tech house kicks. It's basically just a fancy way of saying a 909 kick. You know, it's like a really fat 909. It's not that little 808. It's a really full sounding. You could also use an 808 though for a lot of these types of tracks as well. But yeah, that 909 just really punches through. And then the snare, we have an 808 snare. So again, still all drum machine sounds, but just using them very carefully. The snare layered with the clap from the 808. And then they're both going into a bit of drum bus. Here's without it. And then with it. So yeah, we got that. And that's what you want to start with. Get the kick and the snare sounding really good. Then you can move up to some hi-hats. What's happening here is I have these 3 808 hi-hats inside of a drum rack. And what's happening is I set the choke to 1, meaning when one of these plays, the other one is going to stop playing. Right, so you can have those long open hi-hats, but they cut out when the next one plays. And that's just going through an EQ with a bit of a high-end boost. Then we have 2 layers that add like texture and kind of some background percussion. The first being this 808. So yeah, it's like an 808 chord kit from Ableton, just doing some percussion. But I have it going through this really fast echo and a bit of drum bus, so it has a lot of character. And it's adding a lot of texture to the drums. And then we also have this operator percussion, which is really bright. But if you listen to that with the rest of the percussion, it fits right in because there's nothing else that's in that range. Right, so you can still hear it even though there's all this stuff happening. And this is made with operator, like I said, so this is a bit of white noise with actually a little bit of FM from a sine wave. And then we have a bandpass filter with an envelope, and then also an LFO on the filter cutoff there to just move it around and give you kind of like more of a percussive texture. Then we just have a bit of very fast echo and some drum bus. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, literally every single thing from this video is available right at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It really helps support me. Plus, it's gonna take your tracks to the next level and help you make better tracks immediately. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. Every little bit helps, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.